It's about 2 years ago, and I'm walking inside my local gym, about to have a workout with my friend James. But I noticed something a little bit different. There's a girl with my friend James there. Let's call her Clara for the video's sake. Now Clara, at the time, was one of James's clients. James was a personal trainer at the time, right? And apparently, she was going to train with us today. Alright, sweet, no worries. So I go and get ready into my gym clothes, and now I'm working out, and now I'm starting to try to get to know Clara a little bit because it's the first time I met this girl, right? And as I'm trying to get to know her, like not in that way, but I'm just trying to get to know her as a person, as an individual. People usually say that I have a bit of a weird sense of humor. So this is what happens, right? We're talking about some random shit. Oh, so where do you live? Where do you do this? What do you do for work? Whatever, right? And she ends up asking me this. She asks me if I have any dogs. And I actually do have 3 dogs. But in my head, I'm like, wouldn't it just be funny if instead of saying I had 3 dogs, I said I had 3 donkeys? I mean, wouldn't that be just the most funniest shit ever? It's a very dry sense of humor I have, but I thought it would be really funny. And so I said, fuck it, I'm just gonna say it. She was like, oh, so do you have any dogs? Oh, yeah, I've got 3 donkeys. And I said it with a still face. But after like 5 seconds, bro, I cracked up laughing. I just could not bear my laughter, bro. And I know it sounds like such a dry joke. Like your face right now is probably the most still. You are probably not laughing at all. Understandable. But as I look at Clara's face, dude, she is not laughing. She has the most weirded out, judgmental look on her face right now. As if I just said something that was very morally incorrect. And so she just says, okay, in a very weirded out, judgmental way. And so my smile starts to fade away as well. Because I feel very outcasted in this moment. Our energies were a total mismatch. Right? It feels like we're just repelling each other. I can't be my true authentic self around this girl. And so for a few days after that point, I would work out with this girl again, with James. And I would still be my authentic self. I'm cracking these jokes that I personally find so funny in my head. These really dry sense of humor type of jokes. That type of whimsical energy, because I just like being stupid sometimes. That's just who I am. And it got to a point where she just says, can you just stop? Like, can you stop being so weird? In a very disrespectful and judgmental way. And at that point, it really just hits me, right? That sense of disrespect. Because I know you probably can understand this as well. When you feel disrespected by somebody, it just feels very like dehumanizing. Like I felt like a total pushover, especially for just being yourself. I don't really know if it was her just masculine type of energy, but me being me, I go home that same day and I take full accountability. Right? I'm the type of person to take full accountability for when things go quote-unquote wrong, because I thought this was a total disaster. I thought this was all my fault, right? And I'm just feeling very sad in this moment. Oh my gosh, like, for my whole life, have I just been weird to not just girls, but to guys? Have I just been like a total weirdo? Like, maybe I am too childish. Maybe I do need to be more serious, like more stoic. Like an alpha male, you know? And at the time I'm like looking at all these alpha male like reels and TikToks of them like, you know, like attracting all these women around them, and it just seemed like it felt like I was feminine, right? I felt feminine. Maybe if I just be more masculine, like these people that I'm looking at in these reels, maybe then more girls will like me. Maybe then more guys will respect me and actually want to be around me more. And so now I'm going through this period where I'm just taking everything super seriously. Right? I'm not really telling any jokes anymore. I'm not really smiling that much. I'm walking around just mewing and just flexing my jawline and shit. Just not being the person who I once was. You know, thinking I was this cool like anime character. So Clara Even though I didn't realize it, subconsciously she was stripping away my authenticity. Because I was afraid, I didn't want to let the same thing happen to other people as well, so she stripped this authentic side of me away. And so during this time, I was in university. At the time, I'm doing a construction management course. The degree that I was doing was very male-dominated. So imagine this, I'm walking into this class for the very first time. I was expecting this entire class to be filled with men because of my degree. But to my surprise, it was like 50-60% women. Oh my god. Because I realized that this was like a joint class. There were students from psychology class, health science, and there was a lot of pretty girls in this class. And this very first day, the teacher puts us into groups. And we have to stick with these groups for pretty much the whole semester, or for the rest of the class run time. And I end up getting put into a group with 2 other guys and 1 girl. Let's call this girl Sarah. Sarah's very beautiful. And so immediately, I'm trying to use my new gained social skills. I'm being very friendly with the guys. Being super friendly, asking them how their day was, what their hobbies are and stuff. But with Sarah, who's sitting right next to me, I'm just acting like I just don't care. Like I just don't really give a fuck about her presence, because I'm now this cool character, I'm now this cool anime, stoic figure that just does not care. Because surely, but deep down, if I'm being honest with myself, I did care. I wanted her to speak to me, because at the time I was a pretty lonely guy, if I'm being honest. And a few days would go past, right, of me just not really doing anything. And one day, I noticed that one of the guys in my group, decent looking fella, not the best looking, but decent looking, right? He starts talking to Sarah more and more and more and more. And then slowly he starts talking to her about fitness. And immediately my ears kind of light up, because I have this major passion for fitness. I'm dying to talk about this as well. And then she ends up asking him, oh my gosh, yeah, wait, I just got into fitness. But I don't really know what workout routines to do. Can you help me out? Can you tell me what workout routines to do? And bro, I wanted to answer this question so badly, but I couldn't, I didn't want to do that. Because at this point, it's been a few days, I'm kind of known as this quiet persona type of fella who doesn't really want to socialize, who doesn't even look like he wants to get spoken to. So at this point, it's just so difficult for me to even open my mouth in the first place. And so he ends up taking the conversation. And actually, started talking to Sarah more and more and more. And so throughout the next following weeks, I would kind of look forward to coming to this class, always telling myself that this is the class, this is the time that I'm just going to have a genuine conversation with this girl. Not even because I want to get with her or anything, but I just genuinely want to, I just want to talk to this girl just to show myself that I can do it. I can at least talk to women, right? But every single time I encounter Sarah, it's always just a simple fist bump, the how you doing, the this, that. I could never actually break that barrier. And I don't want to go through that stigma of oh my gosh, wait, people are going to think I'm switching up, what's going on, right? I didn't want judgment, basically. I don't want people to judge me. And so I kept silent, which would end up being a very bad mistake. Because one day, we are given a very important assignment to do. Right, and this one particular day, the 2 other boys in my class, in my group, they didn't end up showing up. So it was just Sarah and I. And so I'm literally hyping myself up. If I don't say a word now, when am I going to say a word? This is literally the perfect moment. We had to make a specific app, just design an app that meant some cultural meaning. Basically, it didn't really help us at all. But I decided, hey Sarah, how about we make an app for fitness, because I knew she liked fitness, but it was a matchmaker, right? So it was like a fitness app for finding your gym bros. How's that sound? And she says this, oh my god, that kind of reminds me of Tinder. And when Sarah said that, in my head, I want to say the most dirtiest joke ever that I found personally hilarious. Yeah, wait, that kind of is like Tinder. Wait, what if they started hooking up and well? I wanted to say some dirty shit like that, bro, because that was, that's what I wanted to say, but I didn't say that. I held back from saying that because I was afraid that she would think I'm weird, right? I was like trauma from what happened with Clara back in the gym, but with Sarah now. I didn't want her to think I was weird. And now it's arriving the end of the year. Run club happening. And I pretty much just decide that I give up. I give up on speaking to Sarah because clearly our energies just aren't a match. But that was simply cope. That was all just cope. I was just too much of a pussy, and this would bite my ass very quickly because it's now, I kid you not, bro, the final day of class, right? The very final day. Get this. At this point, the bro that's sitting on my table, the one that loves talking to Sarah, right? I'm noticing that he's getting even more closer and closer to Sarah. A little bit too close, right? And Sarah's laughing at his jokes and shit, and then he says something. He says a joke that I found hilarious. He says something like, I don't know, he said something about his dick hurting, right? And that made me laugh. Like, I was trying to hold in my laughter, bro. But guess what? Sarah broke out in laughter as well. She was in tears when he said that, bro. And then, bro, when she started laughing, bro, it just hit me so bad. It was like a slap in my face. It's like, oh my god, wait. She just laughed at a joke that I found funny. That was my humor as well. Oh my. If I was just myself at the beginning, if I was just myself from the very beginning, bro. Ah, oh, damn it. And at this point, it's just too late. It's the last day of class. It's just too late now. And the guy and Sarah kind of walked off together after that class. And I don't really know what happened with those two, but I don't know. Anything could have happened, right? I pretty much just drove home in regret, man. For not just being myself. Because if you look like you don't want to get spoken to, I mean, you won't get spoken to. And I know that sounds like the most basic bitch, like, knowledge. Of course, if you look like you don't want to get spoken to, you won't get spoken to. But be honest. How often do you get into situations where you just kind of subconsciously think to yourself that you're cool for being quiet or for not really caring? Because I get into these situations quite a lot, if I'm being honest with myself. But that's just a very ugly thing to do. It's not very flattering, and we believe these shows and movies and anime and people on like Instagram Reels and stuff, like this masculine stoic type of vibe. But from what I've experienced, this is far from the truth. Nobody ever thought I was cool being like that. No one ever thought I was cool. People just thought I was a weirdo. I felt the most alone I felt ever being this way. And this is where you might say, like, well, you felt alone when you were talking to Clara as well. When she insulted you for just being yourself, right? 100%. But the truth is, your authenticity, this authenticity, this energy inside you is so powerful. It's such a powerful thing. If you truly bring it out, and you're not putting on a fake mask, if you're not trying to dim this light inside you, this authentic light, you're gonna repel a lot of people away. That's just the truth. And I saw that as a negative thing, right? When it came to Clara, me pushing her away, I just saw that as a purely negative thing, but it's not. Because you know what's so much worse than being hated on, my friend? Acting like somebody who you're not. For me, that was a stoic alpha male type of character. Because if you act like somebody who you're not, you're going to repel the people who were originally very compatible with you in the first place. And you're gonna pull in the people who just aren't compatible with you, bro. It is the worst of both worlds. Because you can't please everybody, bro. You can't please everybody. If you're in a position where you are pleasing every single person and you don't have any enemies, right? You're not pleasing anybody at that point. Certainly not pleasing yourself, because you're bound to have people who just don't like you for whatever reason that may be. And I want you to think that it is not a bad thing when people don't like you, bro. Right? I used to think it was horrible. It's not a bad thing. It's not a problem with you. You do not need to change yourself because of what this person thinks of you. And I know that sounds wishy-washy, like positivity bullshit, right? But there's truth in that, because you can improve yourself as much as you want. You can be the disciplined, hardworking person, 100%, who just does not give a fuck. Okay. But there's an inner child inside you. There's a version of you inside your heart that just wants to be authentic. Just wants to just laugh and just smile, bro. You shouldn't try to suppress that child inside you. You shouldn't try to push that child down. Bring it out. Because you're just going to end up depressed, if I'm being honest. Right? Bring that inner child out. It deserves to be taken out. Even if other people find it ugly, I don't care. That's your inner child. That's your authentic self. The only way to heal that child is to bring it out more. Don't let anyone take it away from you. You should smile more. You should. The world needs more of your smile. 100%. Much love, bro.